Hello gamers from around the world, this is Archimedes, the video game enthusiast from Germany, with a rather speculative video, cause this video is based on a rumor. And I usually don't do videos about rumors, but this one is something I would like to cover because it's not only something that I have been saying for a while that Microsoft should do, but it also comes from a source that I usually trust. Now what am I talking about? According to Jeff Grubb from GameSpeed, Microsoft is about to have some sort of event or show in March to celebrate and officialize the Bethesda/ZeniMax deal. Now when we talk about rumors, we have to ask a couple of questions. What's the source? Why is this rumor leaked, or why is it discussed in the community? And Jeff Grubb is one of the journalists with integrity, and he's known for good contacts into the industry. And while we still have to take this with a grain of salt, it would only make sense for Microsoft to have such an event in the middle of March. And there are multiple reasons for that. We know that latest by March 5th, the EU will approve the acquisition of ZeniMax and the Bethesda studios, so the deal is then officially sealed, and Microsoft is then legally allowed to talk about the acquisition and their future plans for the IPs, studios, etc, etc. We also know that Larry Herb, aka Major Nelson from the Xbox team, has already teased that Microsoft has multiple events in the year 2021. So yeah, having an event in March and get people to talk about Microsoft would definitely help them. Because a lot of people don't realize, Xbox has a bigger 2021 than many give them credit for. So in this video we are going to discuss everything about a possible Welcome to the Family Bethesda event from Xbox in March. We will talk about what announcements could be made in such an event that is pre-E3. We will also discuss why Xbox has probably a bigger year than most people think, and of course I will give you a little speculation from my side. But before we go through all of that, I want to ask you for a favor. If you watch this video and end up enjoying yourself, then please consider to hit the like and subscribe button and maybe even turn on the notification bell to not miss out on future content. This doesn't cost you anything, but it helps my channel more than you think, and I would really appreciate your support. But now let's talk about a possible Xbox event in March. Let me start with what Jeff Grubb actually said in a GameBeat podcast. Once the deal closes, they will talk about it in a big way. I don't know if it will be like a full direct style event, but they will make note of it and they will talk about it extensively and explain what it means to everybody. Expect that to happen sometime in mid-March. So the event might not be a stream or something like that. It could also be a big interview, blog posts, whatever. But according to this rumor, we should expect big news about the whole deal in March. And that's why we should expect in March a lot of talk about how they will now work as one company and how they will share technology and resources. I'm also very interested in learning how they will handle the publishing, because Bethesda has a complete marketing and publishing department, and it will be interesting to see how they will implement them into the Xbox Game Studios. Now the biggest question about the whole ZeniMax acquisition has been from the very beginning, will the Bethesda games become Xbox exclusives? Will games like the next Elder Scrolls, the highly anticipated Starfield, or the next Wolfenstein game be exclusive games to the Xbox ecosystem, or will they remain multi-platform titles like they have been pre-acquisition from Microsoft? Now for those who follow my channel know that I have been saying it since the day of the announcement that Microsoft will make almost all games Xbox ecosystem exclusives. The only exceptions will be the big MMO type games like Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online and so on, but all other games will become Xbox first party titles, and so expect the next Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein, Starfield, etc to be Xbox exclusives for the same reason why games like God of War, Uncharted or The Last of Us are PlayStation exclusives. Okay, but what will they actually announce at the event? Now I don't know whether we will get a general statement from Microsoft where they say that all games will be exclusive or multiplat, but expect the announcement for a couple of games that will come rather sooner, and the first is of course Starfield. Every Microsoft executive has talked about Starfield when they talked about the Bethesda acquisition, so I expect that game to be announced as an Xbox exclusive. I don't think we will see gameplay for Starfield. We will get that at the E3 event, but we will get a cinematic trailer with the announcement of a release in 2021. Now I'm particularly excited for this game because we haven't had a new Bethesda IP in decades, and it's been a while since we had a full game from Todd Howard. And even though we don't know anything about the game except that it is an RPG RPG in a sci-fi setting, I have faith that this game is going to be a special experience, because let's be real here, Todd Howard has never made a bad game. Well, and then we have the next Wolfenstein game. We know that the developer Machine Games is also working on Indiana Jones, but we also know that they have had now 4 years to develop their final game in the trilogy, and I think that this might also be a title for 2021, or maybe a spring 2022 title. I am not sure if they will already announce that game, and if so, I'd expect that to happen with a cinematic trailer, but it has the potential to be there. I can also see them announce a game that we don't know of, maybe a new Evil Within, Prey 2, or a new Dishonored game. Maybe even a new IP, but if you do such an event, you have usually one surprise up your sleeve. But I said in the beginning of this video, Xbox has probably a bigger 2021 than people give them credit for, and so I think that they will use this event to talk about a bunch of games that will come somewhere before the big holiday months October and November. And here's what I mean. Xbox has had a couple of AA to AAA games that they intended to launch alongside the Xbox Series consoles, or at least in a launch window. But since the pandemic hit, a lot of games have been delayed, and some of those games are not delayed till fall 2021. I expect them to bridge that gap of exclusive content to fall, where we can expect the big hitters like Halo Infinite and probably a new Forza game, as well as the aforementioned Starfield. But if they have games coming up until, let's say, August or September this year, they really need to start to talk about them, and I don't want to make this rumored event in March a bigger thing than it probably is. But on the other side, a lot of Xbox games are coming and they want to be advertised, so let's have a look into what is probably released before the fall season of 2021. And the biggest game is probably Crossfire X. That game is developed by the Korean developer Smilegate, but what everyone is excited about is the single player campaign, which is developed by none other than Remedy, makers of games like Control, Alan Wake and Quantum Break. And from the little gameplay that they have shown, I can already tell that this game is going to be awesome, action-packed, and I can't wait to see where the highly talented developer from Remedy will take a single-player first-person shooter campaign. Because we all know that Remedy are very talented storytellers, and Crossfire X was supposed to be a 2020 title that got delayed, so I expect them to release that game probably in summer. We also know that Psychonauts 2 from Double Fine, an Xbox first-party title which is a 3D platformer, is very close to its release. Head of Double Fine, Tim Schafer, said in the development diary around Christmas that they have started to work on the credits for the game, and that this should tell us something about the status of the game. That's why I could see that game to be a surprise launch in the late spring months, maybe May. So I expect them to show it off in March, and by the way, I'm really looking forward to it because the Double Fine games have always had a special humor, and this game also has a soundtrack from Jack Black. So yeah, I'm excited. And then we have a game called The Ascent. This was also supposed to be a 2020 title, but due to the ongoing pandemic it got delayed to 2021. And recently the official Twitter account from The Ascent really got active. They are tweeting out a lot of screenshots and a lot of pieces, so I think this game is not that far off and will bridge that gap on the exclusive side till we get to the fall of 2021. It is an action RPG with an isometric view, so the comparison of Diablo meets Cyberpunk is what basically everyone is using when talking about this game, and I can't wait to play it. Then we also have the confirmation that the Microsoft Flight Simulator is coming in summer 2021 to the Xbox Series consoles. Now I know that the Microsoft Flight Simulator is not for everyone. There's no denying that this game has a huge fan base, and especially its technology behind it is absolutely amazing. I mean, look at this footage, it is captured on the Xbox Series X, and I think there are no graphics out there that come as close to photorealism as the visuals in this game. So these are some of the exclusives that will most likely come in spring or summer this year. Usually during these shows we also get a couple of announcements from second-party deals or games where Microsoft has the marketing rights for. So I could see them bringing in some more news on Warhammer 4K Darktide. I could also see them talk about Chorus. This game is not an Xbox exclusive, but it has been shown by Microsoft or during Microsoft events multiple times. I'd love to see some news about Stalker 2, but this might also be a 2022 title, so I'm not so sure. Okay, now these are all games that we already know about. Probably there will be one or two surprises in there, but we know that for this fall we expect, besides the aforementioned Starfield, games like Halo Infinite and probably a new Forza game, but I doubt that we will see either one of them in March. Now, since this whole event is focused around Bethesda, we will also probably hear about a ton of games from the newly acquired studios coming into Game Pass. I know that some of the games like Doom or some of the Wolfenstein games are already in there, but I expect them to really add a huge chunk of that library to the subscription service. Okay, and with that I want to come to an end of this video. This is one of the probably rather smaller events, and the big show will come in June. Whether that will be an official E3 event or a substitute event, but that's when we will see gameplay of Halo Infinite, the announcement of either Forza Motorsport or Forza Horizon 5, and hopefully some gameplay for some of the other announced Xbox first-party titles. We also know about a bunch of big third-party games that Microsoft has the marketing deals with, like Elden Ring from From Software or Dying Light 2 from Techland. Those kind of announcements will be later this year. This rumored thing in March is really a welcome to the family event. Microsoft's intention is to let the gaming world know that they are now one of the biggest publishers in the world and that we can expect a steady stream of games coming this year and beyond. The whole intention is to get people to talk again about the Xbox brand and to tell us what games we will get to play until the big hitters will start to come into Game Pass starting this fall. And since we haven't had a proper gaming event in a while now, I can't wait to get some news, and I really do hope that this rumor turns out to be true. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please do not forget to hit the like and subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and consider sharing this out to other gamers. I would greatly appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below, do you think this rumor is true? What do you think Microsoft could show during such an event? And besides here on YouTube, you can also hit me up on Twitter, where I share a lot of opinions and gaming discussions. But for now, thank you very much for watching, I see you the next time, and game on!